Data is the lifeblood of any good business. If you can understand your users better, how they perform, what they do on your website, and get actionable insights from it, you can make better informed decisions which will help grow your business and outpace the competition. Now, you already have available tools like Google Analytics, which can give you the data. But the only biggest challenge with Google Analytics is that it's extremely hard to configure, especially for beginners and even for advanced users. Getting Google Analytics to report the right data from your website is the biggest challenge most business people will face when using analytics. Thankfully, there is a beautiful solution called Monster Insights, which this entire video is about. And in this video, I'm going to show you what Monster Insights is, what it does, and how it takes all the pain away from configuring Google Analytics on your website, collects all the right data, sends it to Google Analytics, and shows all that actionable insight right inside your WordPress dashboard as well. So once you start understanding and utilizing the plugin, you will have the right data about your business and your customers at your fingertips, which is amazingly powerful. So let's get started with the video. I'll show you how to install Monster Insights on your website and what kind of reports you can see with Monster Insights. Let's go. All right, so this is the website for Monster Insights. You can see it here. Monster Insights, the best WordPress analytics plugin. Now, there's a free version of Monster Insights as well, and there's a premium version. You can go to the pricing section, figure out if it is worth it for you. I have already have the premium version, so I'll be using that, but the premium version is definitely worth it, so you should be definitely checking it out. So just to give you an idea how to get started, once you make purchase and you log into your website and you have your credentials, you will have access to your backend account, which looks something like this. So this is my Monster Insights account. I can download Monster Insights, the plugin zip file. I'll show you how to install it. And we can also have the license key here, which I'll blur out. The idea here is that you can have the license key and the zip file as well. I'll show you also how to install the free version of the plugin so you have understanding of both. Now, I'll just go to my test website here. Now, this is a completely blank website, doesn't have any data on it. So let me show you how to install Monster Insights on this website first. I'll go to the plugins section, go to installed plugins, and I'll go to add a new plugin here. And inside the search box, I'll just type in Monster Insights, and I'll just make sure to have a space there and let it load. And you can see the first plugin that comes up is Monster Insights, Google Analytics Dashboard for WordPress, websites that's made easy. You can see 2 weeks ago, 3 million active installs. Fantastic plugin. Let's install the free version of the plugin right now. And installed. So let's also activate the plugin. All right. So the free version of the plugin is installed, and once the plugin is installed, regardless if it's the free version or the premium version, you can launch the setup wizard to configure the entire plugin easily. Let me just give you a preview of how the setup wizard looks like. So, and also what it does. So just to round down the features, it helps you analyze Google Analytics tracking or configure Google Analytics on your site. It gives you a dashboard right inside your WordPress dashboard, real-time statistic. It helps you set up enhanced e-commerce tracking, page level analytics, affiliate tracking, and we also have some add-ons which makes it even more easier to track the right kind of data. So let's click the launch wizard, and I'll just show you a couple of steps because we won't configure this entire website because this is the test website and it won't have any data. I have another website already set up which has been running for or active for some time where we have some data, because if I show you the reports and has no data, it doesn't make any sense. But the idea is we can go that, hey, what is a website? Is it a business website? Let's save and continue. Let's connect your website to Monster Insights, or connect Monster Insights to your website so we can connect it, and then we can go to the next step. Basically, it's a very step-by-step process where the Monster Insights setup wizard will help you connect to Monster Insights if you're using the premium version, and also connect your website to Google Analytics. All you have to do is paste a couple of properties, and then this website or whatever your website is will be connected to Google Analytics as well. So Monster Insights will be able to start fetching that data. So it's basically a 5-step process. You can see it's very simple to do. I'm going to exit the setup right now because I'm going to show you how to install the premium version of the plugin right now. So what I'll do is I'll once again go to the premium version, or I say plugin section. I'll go to add new plugin. And this time I have the zip file already active on my computer. So I'll just go to upload plugin, and I have the zip file. So I'll just drag and drop it here on here. I'll install it, and let's wait for it to finish. And let's activate the plugin as well. All right, now you can see that no valid license key has been entered because I have not done it yet. We'll have to do it to make sure that we have the best updates and features. So I'll just copy my license key from my computer and I have it on my clipboard now. Let's go to the section to enter a license key. And inside this section, I'll just add my license key and it's been done. And it's verified in a second. So now this license key has been activated on the site. And once again, I can just do a couple of clicks and install, or I say activate or connect Google Analytics with my website as well. So it's very simple to do. And at any point of time you think you want to go to the setup process again, you can still launch the setup process. So that's how easy it is to set up the free version of Google Analytics or free version of Monster Insights and the free version or the premium version of Monster Sites on your website. In just less than a minute, you are set up and ready. Now, of course, if we go to the report section where we find the data, this is just a beginning website, right? So this has no data. So even if I launch the setup as I connect with Google Analytics, you won't see any data. So what I've done is prepare a completely different website that's been active for some time. It has all the data so that I can actually demonstrate some of those beautiful features to you. And let's go to that website now. So this is the website, and you can see it has a lot more data. It has showing some reports. Now, the way I'll proceed with this video is I'll show you a basic overview of what kind of data you can see here. Then we'll go into the settings section first, because Monster Insights is a reporting plugin. It fetches data from Google Analytics. So if you want the right data to be reported, you have to configure Monster Insights perfectly. And that is the hard part. And that is the biggest pain point that Monster Insights just takes away from, say, configuring Google Analytics. So if you understand what kind of features you can enable, you'll be able to configure Monster Insights perfectly and well. So understanding that part is more important, because the reports you already can see inside Google Analytics, but this is a more convenient way of seeing them. But unless you have the right information being captured and sent to Google Analytics, the reports will not be useful. So what I'll do is, this is the website, and you can see you have all these type of, I said, reports here. I'll cover those in a lot more detail in the later part of the video. And we have the basic overview report. You see the sessions here, you see number of page views here. So if I go to the page views, you can see the page views, and you can see details about the sessions, the page views, session duration, bounce rate, and you also have a feature called site notes, which I'm going to talk about in detail. Then you can see all the kind of data you'll need on the top pages, where the users are coming from, and you can go into the detailed reports and find more information as well. Now, the features we're going to talk about specifically are the reports, and we'll talk about AI insights. We're going to talk about the reports, or I say add-ons, which are also very powerful, and we'll talk about the settings as well. So basically, the idea is that Monster Insights has to be configured very, very well, and that's where the power is, because Monster Insights can only say give you the best data unless once you configure it correctly. So I'm going to show you in the next I say section of the video what kind of settings are available inside Monster Insights. So how you can configure the settings or enable the right settings so you can capture the right data and then send it to Google Analytics. Then we look at the add-ons, what kind of add-ons we have available. Then we look at AI insights and site notes and other features, and then show you give a complete picture on the reporting section on what kind of reports you can see. Then it will all start to make sense when it comes to using Monster Insights. All right, so let's start with the settings process or settings of Monster Insights and see what kind of settings you have available inside Monster Insights to start collecting the right data. All right, guys. So as I mentioned, I'll be taking you directly to a test website where the data has been populating for some time. So I can show you a live demonstration of how Monster Insights is useful in reporting data. You can see some of the data already present on the screen, and we'll be going into the Monster Insights menu by going in the Insights section and going into Reports. Now, I won't dive into the reports directly, or I won't start with the reports first, because you probably already understood from the intro. Monster Insights is a reporting plugin, right? It doesn't do much except for basically reporting data. And all of that reporting has to be configured by you first so that the right data can be reported and tracked by Monster Insights. So the first thing we need to understand is not the reports themselves, but how to configure the right reports, how to make sure that the right settings are in place so that the right data is being tracked. So for that, I'll go into the sections where we'll do the more important operations first, which is setting up the reporting and other elements on Monster Insights. So what I'll be doing is first going into the settings here so I can demonstrate what kind of settings you can change and what impact they have on your website and what kind of data it changes to report. And the next thing we'll be doing is going into the add-ons section. I'll explain what add-ons are once this is done. Now, this is Monster Insights. You see, the first setting is the license key. You already saw this. I showed you how to enter your license key and add this. You might be using the free version. In that case, it's not required. I already mentioned that Google authentication, or basically connecting to Google Analytics, is also something you need to do. And it's a little out of scope. So I'll be leaving a link in the description once again to a video which explains how to do this. But once you've done this, you can go through the process. Now, you can launch the setup wizard and set up the basic Monster Insight settings as I demonstrated that you can do, or you can just go through the manual process of doing this. I highly recommend you using the setup wizard to configure the essential settings, but you can change those settings by going into the settings anyways, which I'm going to show you right now. So we can see we have engagement, e-commerce, publisher, conversions, advanced, and setup checklist. Let's go through one by one so that you can understand what settings to configure, because there's so many settings, but even one important setting can be, I'd say, critical to your data. So I'll have to go through everything to explain to you what kind of settings you can configure. So the first setting is the demographic settings, and this is important. You should enable demographics and interest reporting for remarketing and advertising. This is basically a Google Analytics feature where Google tries to understand more information about their users, what demographic and interest they are, so that you can remarket to them and advertise to them. You can also look at the description or a brief description of the settings by going into the tooltip here, which will give you more information. And you can also go into the knowledge base by clicking the links directly from this sections as well, which is also useful. And I'll explain this in brief as well so that you can just follow along. And if you want more information, then the tooltip and the additional links are there as well. The next option is to anonymize the IP addresses. This is something you can do if you don't want to send out the actual IP addresses of users who are on your website. This might affect the remarketing ability of Google. So make sure to enable this. And one important thing to consider is compliance with different, say, tracking laws. For example, we have the GDPR and EU compliance laws. So make sure that you understand whatever settings you're changing, especially when it comes to collecting personal information. So as I was saying, EU compliance, very huge thing. Compliance is very important. And Monster Insights has an add-on specifically made for EU compliance. When we'll go into the add-on section, I'll show you how to enable those add-ons and configure them. So right now it's saying that, hey, if you want to make your website more compliant with GDPR, other privacy law, then you should install the EU compliance add-on. So you can click install now and activate it. But I'll go into the add-on section after I've covered the settings, and this will be the exact same process whether you do it from here or go into the add-ons and do it from there as well. So it doesn't make a huge difference. So the next option is to enable the privacy guard. And if you go to the tool, it already gives you the same information that I was clarifying. That privacy guard will basically, what it does is it removes identifiable information from Google Analytics, or at least the data is sent to Google Analytics, so that it can you can comply with privacy law. Once again, I would recommend that you keep it on, and you can keep this off if you don't want to remarket, or you want to remarket, and you can anonymize this as well if you're not interested in actually remarketing. You just want to understand how the content on your website is performing. Then on the link attribution section, you can enable enhanced link attribution. So any kind of link clicks happening on the site and attribution coming through links can be tracked appropriately. Then you can also enable anchor tracking and also use or I say tag tracking in the RSS feeds on your website. So if you're getting, let's say, a lot of visits from RSS feeds that some websites are collecting from your website, then this is an important feature to enable. Then you can also enable the scrolling depth. This is a useful feature if you have, let's say, landing pages, or you have some call to actions at pages that you want to track how deep users are scrolling before quitting. This is useful. So if you enable this feature, then you can just see that how long or how deep people scroll on the page can be tracked as well. And if you have cross domain, let's say, data, then you can enable the cross domain tracking here as well. For example, you might have a form hosted on some other website, on some other domain. You might have, say, a multi setup for websites with multiple domains. You can add the domain here, and cross domain tracking will be enabled. And the last important setting on this page is the file download section. So if you offer any kind of downloads, free or paid, then you can track, or I say what Monster Insights can do is track those downloads, and will send an event to Google Analytics whenever a file is downloaded. It's very useful to understand what people are doing with the content and how many times they are actually downloading the content from your website. So all you have to do is ensure that the right extension for that file, whatever the file extension is, without the dot, is added to this section. So you can see right now the DOC or the doc format, the PDF, PPT, zip, XLS, docx, PPTX, and XLS is done. For example, if I was doing images on my site, then I would say JPG, PNG, or SVG as well. and this will allow me to track downloads of these file extensions as well. So once again, if I quickly change this, you can see you can always reset to default. So that's completely up to you how you want to do it. So this is the basic, the engagement sector or engagement access tab of the settings. Then we also have the e-commerce tab, and I'll probably cover some of the e-commerce settings once I finish the basic data, because it's a complete different section for tracking. But I just want to introduce that what kind of tracking can be done and what you need to do before the tracking can actually begin. So for example, this is a test website. This has some data on it, but does not have any e-commerce as a plugins installed. So unfortunately, there's no tracking information I can show to you, which you can use to understand or let's say visually see the data. But you can see that Monster Insights connects with a lot of different plugins to track data from those plugins as well. For example, you can see it connects with WooCommerce. So WooCommerce data can be tracked, or e-commerce sales can be tracked. You can have easy digital downloads. So any digital downloads can be tracked. You have MemberPress. So MemberPress data can be tracked at what's happening, what users are doing, which are logging in. Lifter LMS for course delivery can be tracked. Give WP for charitable donations can be tracked. Restrict content pro can be tracked for understanding which of your content is performing well. Member mouse is similar to MemberPress. You can track membership levels and all the other data. Charitable is similar to Give WP, that means charitable contributions. And wishlist member is also similar, I'd say, add-on or a plugin which can be tracked by Monster Insights to understand the user behavior for all these plugins. So these are all the, I'd say, basic, or not the basic, but these are all the amazing, I'd say, integrations that Monster Insights provides to you so that you can understand your user behavior better by just enabling those features. So if the plugin is installed, basically if I install WooCommerce on the site, automatically the WooCommerce add-on will be enabled. And I'll try and demonstrate this with a little more detail in maybe the later part of this video. But right now I just wanted to introduce that this is where you find it. This is where all the integrations are, and this is what you can do. If you go down, you'll see that affiliate tracking is also enabled. For example, if you have, let's say, products you sell, have affiliates that want to um, basically or if you have affiliates promoting your products and services or offers, then you can enable the easy affiliate integration or affiliate WP integration, and then data from those affiliates can also be tracked. So what's happening, how they're promoting, and all the other amazing things can be tracked as well. Then you also have user ID tracking. So for example, user ID is basically connected with users inside WordPress. So you can see the users menu here. So if you go to the users, every user on WordPress has a user ID. So if you want to track some behavior of users who are logged into your site, what they do specifically using analytics, then you can enable the user ID tracking. You'll want to also need to include or enable this feature inside Google Analytics. And if this is something you like, then inside the plugin, you have the step-by-step instructions here. You can click on this, you'll reach the documentation on the Monster Insights website, and you'll find how to enable this inside Google Analytics as well. And this is a very edge case, so I'm not going to cover this in detail. Let's go to the publisher section, and this is also very, very important. Inside the publisher section, basically we cover everything that has to do with earning affiliate commissions. Inside the e-commerce section, we talk about where other affiliates promote your products. So if let's say you are a WooCommerce store and you sell products, and there are affiliates that promote your sales or promote your products and get sales, then this is the options to track those affiliates. But if you are a publisher and just you just send traffic to, let's say, Amazon and other places, this is where you will track those. So what you need to configure here is, most of the time, if you are a fairly, I'd say, an affiliate who's been doing this for some time, that means you have I'd say you have enough content and you have been creating affiliate content for some time, you will be managing your links, which just means that instead of just posting naked links everywhere, you would manage them in a central location using a plugin like Pretty Links or Thirsty Affiliates. And in both these plugins, or I'd say any other affiliate tracking or I say management plugin, it allows you to create a link like this, which signifies that any link from the website that has this go on it basically means that this is an affiliate link. So for example, the default ones configured on this site are go and recommend, but sometimes people will have refer, or I say recommend, or something like that, product recommend. So if you have a specific link path that you have configured, then you can add it here. And if you have not, and if these default sections are not something you want to use, you can always delete or remove those as well. And you also can give them a label. So you can say go is label 1 or affiliate 1, and recommend can be label 2. So depending on how you have configured affiliate links on your website, you should be doing this so that you can cover the publisher section as well. Now, inside publish section or publisher section, we also have the Google AMP and media tracking. So this is useful if you are, let's say, a fairly good publisher and you want to track how users are consuming the data. Monster Insights has connections for Google AMP, so you can enable the add-on. I'll show how to do that, and then AMP data will be tracked as well. And if you have content on your website, specifically YouTube links, Vimeo links, and HTML5 videos, for example, you host your own videos, or you're using a video CDN to have let's say videos on your site, then you can track that data here as well, or track the data of how much that content is being consumed. So for example, you can see videos on your website with completion rates, so you can understand, hey, if you have a 20-minute video, what percentage of that content is being consumed. You can do that directly on your website instead of having to go into YouTube. And specifically, if you are embedding videos, then it's also useful because you won't get the analytics inside YouTube for embedded videos that are created by third parties and not you. But using this add-on and enabling this media tracking, you'll be able to see how third-party content is also being consumed on your website. Then the headline analyzer is a more of a niche thing. For that, you need to understand what the headline analyzer is. So I'll just skip it for now, and I'll just go to the conversions tab. And inside the conversions tab, we have basically three, I'd say, add-ons we can install and start tracking conversion data. So what kind of conversion data can we track? Of course, we can track forms. So if you have, let's say, WP forms, formidable forms, gravity forms installed in the site, you want to ensure that people are actually filling those forms, and what's the tracking for that. So to that, you can install and activate the form tracking plugins, and then you'll be able to see that details here. And the custom dimensions also is very useful. So it can track what's the best time to post new content. You can see the details here as well. Track SEO keyword, log down a user activity, and who is the most popular author. So basically, custom dimensions allow you to define custom parameters that you want to test, or I said track on your site. And it's a very powerful add-on as well. The more you grow, the more data will require, and this is quite useful. Then you can also add track PPC or pixels, or basically tracking for advertising, or PPC or pay-per-click advertising. So Monster Insights supports a lot of different PPC platforms. For example, Google Ads is supported, Microsoft or Bing Ads is supported, Metapixel or Facebook Ads is also supported, and it also works with WooCommerce, Easy Digital Downloads, MemberPress, GiveWP, and Lifter LMS integrations. Now, this is one of the best parts about Monster Insights. I've been emphasizing that the data that you get from Monster Insights is great, but the integration of Monster Insights, where it configures so many different things for you correctly, is the big advantage with using Monster Insights. And with this simple feature, you can probably understand how useful and powerful this one feature is. And all the other features I've been talking about, they would be, I'd say, huge challenge to configure, especially for beginners. But Monster Insights takes care of all the heavy work for you and configures everything, every tracking perfectly and easily and quickly as well. Let's head to the advanced tab here. And inside the advanced tab, we can have email summaries being sent out on a, I say, a regular basis. And this email kind of data, or the email data, can include basically reports, exception use cases, and other details. Let me just quickly run through all these details so you can understand what these are. So first of all, you can set up email summaries. So every week or every X amount of time, you can get a report from the website about, hey, what is happening, or basically what is happening on your website, basically a summary of the events that have happened on your website. So if you enable the email summary and add your email here, you can see I'll blur out this email. So if you add this email here, you can just start sending out those emails, or the Monster Insights can start sending out those emails to you automatically. And make sure that you have a valid SMTP plugin set up, because if not SMTP is not set up, your website might not be able to send email, and even Monster Insights might not be able to send email. So you can see the notice here to activate WPmail SMTP. That's the same thing. And you can enable the HTML email templates as well, which is recommended, I think, default setting. And you can even add a header here. So you can add this header here, which means that you'll have a header inside the email. This is I'd say, a nice to have thing. And then you have the exception alerts as well. And the exception alerts basically takes care of exceptional use cases. So, for example, if something goes wrong, if there's too much traffic, too little traffic, anything exception is triggered, this email can be sent out to you and any other email addresses you set. So this is again similar settings. You can add a site note. I'll talk about what site note is. This is a very useful feature. And then you can also add a Monster Insights notification. So inside here, you can see you can have a notification pop up here as well. This is again a very useful feature. Then you can also export PDF reports. This is also a very powerful feature, especially if you are managing client work, or let's say you're an agency who works on your clients, then you can report this data or export this data from your website or from your client's website in a PDF format, and then send that data to your clients on a regular basis in terms of reporting. So you also have the site notes events, and site notes. I'll talk about site notes. What site notes are? It's a very useful feature. It's a relatively new feature in Monster Insights, so that's pretty useful as well. Then you have the permission section. Basically, you can allow certain roles inside WordPress to see reports, to save settings, and what you or what user types are excluded from the tracking. So you can see here the administrator and editor can see the reports. The administrator can change or save settings, and the administrator and editor are excluded from being tracked inside Google Analytics. Then you have a consent mode banner. Again, this is for the privacy laws, and specifically with GDPR. I'll talk about what the add-on is. And then you also have the performance tracking features, but you need to enable the performance tracking add-on. Try and talk about all the add-ons in a detailed manner, depending on how long this video can go. But the idea is that a lot of add-ons and a lot of useful features. I want to cover them all, but I have to make this video a reasonable length so that nobody, or I say most people, watch it. Again, from the reports section, we can see that if you want to enable the reports, or if you want to share the dashboard widget only, or you can hide the reports. So if you want to white label this service for your clients, basically not white label it, but at least not show the reports to them, then you can enable or disable these features. Then you have automatic updates, which is recommended to have the latest updates automatically. And you can hide the announcements from the plugin, which sometimes show up inside here as announcements, new features roll out, new updates roll out. So that's basically the section for the advanced tab. And the setup checklist is also very useful. If you go into the setup checklist, this is basically a checklist for how to add or what to do, what actions to take inside Monster Insights, so you can take full advantage of the plugin. So you can see set up Monster Insights. You can see what actions have been taken, and what actions have been completed will be marked with a blue check mark, and what actions haven't been customized can or I will see a check mark but not in a blue color, so that you can learn about it, do it, and start working with it. For example, you can see some of these actions have not been done, but if you want to redo a step, then you can click the launch wizard or the relative button next to the action and set up the process. So if I collapse this, you can see the first step is set up Monster Insights, then customize Monster Insights, and then set up site node, improve analytics, get more traffic and engagement, and learn more about Google Analytics. So since you're watching this video, I don't need to cover this all because I'll try and cover a lot of things in this video already. So this is basically the settings of the Monster Insights plugin, and hopefully you have gotten some insight on how amazing this plugin is and how much variation, I say, how much variety of data you can configure, and I say edge cases also you can cover in just a few clicks with Monster Insights. So I'll pause the video for a second here, and we'll start with the add-on section. I'll talk about what add-ons are, what you can do with add-ons inside Monster Insights. All right, so let's start talking about add-ons now. And to reach the add-ons section, you just have to hover over Monster Insights and go to the add-ons section here. Now, just to clarify what add-ons are, similar to how we installed Monster Insights as a plugin for WordPress, Monster Insights can, or I say, be enhanced by plugins of its own, and their plugins or Monster Insights plugins are actually called add-ons, just to avoid confusion. So add-ons for Monster Insights help you add more functionality or enable or disable a certain kind of functionality. For example, if you're tracking e-commerce data, you might not need media or you might not need ads data. But in case you are an affiliate and you want to understand affiliate insights, you might not worry about performance that much. So it just keeps the plugin modular and the base plugin optimized for performance. So I'll talk about what the plugins are, what kind of plugins are available, but let me clarify. Inside the add-ons menu, you can find the plugins here. You can install and activate them directly, or you can go into your license section inside Monster Insights, the website on your account, and find them here and download them and install them manually. I'd recommend it's much easier to use this section, so that's why I'm here. But the add-ons are the same, the functionality is the same, the process is also the same. So let me talk about the add-ons, what they are, what they do, and what they can help you achieve on the site. Now, a lot of this will be pretty straightforward and easy to understand. So don't be surprised if it's very simple and straightforward to explain what an add-on does, because if you're using any kind of analytics, this will be pretty obvious what this does. So let me just explain the add-ons, and I'll maybe enable a couple of add-ons and show you what kind of functionality can be enabled. So the first is PPC tracking. So if you're doing any kind of Google ads, Bing ads, Meta ads, then this will give you enhanced data about the ads and the traffic that is coming through the ads. The next one is Google AMP. So if you have accelerated mobile pages added to your site, then Monster Insights will help you accurately track that data. Just to clarify, once you do or once you're using AMP, a lot of HTML, CSS, JavaScript on your website is compressed. So a lot of tracking in the traditional sense, how it works is will be broken if you're not using the proper add-on. So this add-on from Monster Insights ensures that you will accurately track the data on AMP enabled pages as well. Next up is dimensions. This is very useful if you want to track specific performance of content or authors, or what content is working with your audience. So if you enable this add-on, you will track authors, categories, tags, searches, users, and more detailed data. So it'll help you understand if you have, let's say, multiple authors on your site, which is the most popular author, which are the most popular categories of content on your site, popular tags, what are people searching for. All this kind of information will be available to you. And these are the recommendations because most websites will have benefit some with adding dimensions. And if you're doing PPC, of course, it is important. Then we also have some, I'd say, optional add-ons. Technically, all of these are optional. Whatever you have on your site, whatever you need on your site should be enabled. The next one is AI Insights. This is a very powerful add-on. I'll demonstrate that in a small section what AI Insights can do. It'll just help you analyze your data in a much more friendly way, because if you're just a beginner with WordPress, you can see so much data is being reported by Monster Insights. It might get overwhelming. So Insights helps you understand what kind of data, or I say what's the most important things happening on your site in a much more, I say, user-friendly manner. I'll demonstrate that in a later part as well. Next up is the e-commerce section. Of course, if you can understand what it means, if you have e-commerce or you're selling products on your site, then e-commerce add-on is obviously very useful. It'll track your sales and it integrates with multiple plugins. So you're not limited to a specific plugin. It works with WooCommerce, easy digital downloads, Lifter LMS, and member stores, and many others as well. So if you're selling online courses, selling physical products, then it is very, very useful. And even digital products like ebooks or any kind of downloads, then this add-on will be very useful. Next up is the EU compliance add-on. This is very useful if you are serving customers or even visitors in the European Union. You need to be compliant with GDPR and other privacy law. It is make sure, or if you are serving users in that regions, make sure to enable this for compliance reasons and privacy law. Next up is form tracking. So let's say if you are let's say a consultant or you have a consulting business, then most of your inquiries might be coming through forms. And even if you're a local business, lot of inquiries might be coming through forms. So you need to track what kind of inquiries or what's the percentage conversion on those forms, because that's what your business depends on. So in that case, forms add-on is very, very useful. So once you do this, it integrates, or Monster Insights will integrate with variety of forms like formidable forms, WP forms, and track the performance of those forms. So you'll be able to understand which forms are performing the best and then optimize and understand your business better. Next up is the media add-on, and media add-on is pretty useful if you are a publisher and even if you have, let's say, a video promoting your business in some way. So let's say you have a pitch for a service, or pitch for an offer, or pitch for a product, then you can use the media add-on to track what was the consumption of the media on your site. So you can use YouTube videos, Vimeo embeds, and even media that you upload to your site. This can be accurately tracked how many or what percentage of time are users actually consuming that content. So let's say you have a VSL page, a video sales letter, then using this, you'll be able to understand what is the percentage that people are actually watching that content. It's very, very useful. Next up is page insights. This is obviously useful for page insights or specific pages. So if you want to track the performance of individual pages, this will provide the additional details you need. So once enabled, you'll be able to see important metrics for I would say individual pages and posts inside your dashboard. So if you have a lot of landing pages on the site or you're testing landing pages, this is very, very useful. Next up is the performance add-on, and performance add-on will give you data about how your website is performing, specifically in with respect to site speed and other, I'd say, metrics that Google uses for understanding website performance. So this add-on will give you that data. And the next up is the user journey add-on. Now, this is very useful if you want to understand what is the journey users are taking before they make a purchase or before a conversion event happens. So let's say, for example, you have an e-commerce product on your site, and you, without this add-on, might not know that users are consuming a specific piece of article, a specific video on your site. Only then they're convinced that this is the product that you or they should purchase. Without this add-on, you will never know this data, because Google Analytics can just give you the data. Or if I would say, phrase it this way, Google Analytics can tell you what's happening, but user journey add-on Insta Monster Insights can tell you who is doing what on your site. This will help you understand the user journey and then optimize the content on your website in a better way to help grow your business. And the last one is ads, and this will track conversions for Google ads automatically. So if you are directly selling something, let's say an e-commerce product, and you're giving or getting people directly to a conversion page with ads, then this conversion, or I said this add-on for Monster Insights, will help you activate this. Now, activating add-ons and installing add-ons are very easy. For add-ons that are installed on the site, you won't see a green button, but for add-ons that are not installed, you'll see a download and activate button. But if you just want to enable an add-on, just have to click this button, and it just takes a few seconds, and the add-on will be activated. Sometimes you might see an error, then you might to refresh this or update this or just manually install it. It doesn't matter. It's not very difficult, but I just want to show that once the download or add-ons are installed, they're just a one button click away, and you can just activate them. And all of these insights, whatever you think is useful to you, just install it and then let the data populate, and you'll find the right insights directly inside your Monster Insights and WordPress dashboard. All right, so that's it about this section. In the next section, I'll talk about AI insights, user journey, and not user journey, AI insights, and also site notes, which is a very useful feature inside Monster Insights. All right. Let's talk about some other features inside Monster Insights, which are very, very valuable and make Monster Insights much easier and more powerful to use. I'm talking about the AI Insights add-on and also the Site Notes feature. Let's talk about them one by one. So first, I'll talk about the AI Insights feature. To go into AI Insights, all you have to do is just go to the Insights section, and inside the Insights section, you can just click on it, which will open up this section, and then you can just find the AI Insights section here. Click on it. Let me just wait for the page to load, and then I'll show you what the AI Insight feature does. All right. So this is the page for AI Insights. And basically what AI Insights does is uses the power of AI in the background to give you actionable insights, or I'd say user-friendly insights, so that you can understand the data without having to look at the actual hard data. So it gives you inferences that you can act on. For example, you can see the first insight is that this page specifically, has the highest bounce rate at 55% across all your website, which is very, very useful. So if this page is important to you, or if you have the time, or if this is a preference for you, then you should be figuring out why is the bounce rate so high and how you can engage users very well on the page. Then the second idea, or the second insight coming from AI, is the sudden spike on 26 June with this much session stands out when compared to the previous days, indicating a significant and possibly unusual increase in traffic. Now, this is also very useful because you can figure out what you did on this date, and you can use the site notes feature in conjunction with this feature, which I'm going to talk about, to understand what is happening on a site. And this is again giving you actionable insights. You can upvote them or downvote them depending on if you like the specific insight. And there's also a third insight here, that there have been no transactions and revenue in the last 30 days, because this website technically doesn't have any e-commerce functionality. I just added it here so that I could demonstrate the functionality to you. So that's why this insight is also useful. So you might just download this. And the best part is that once you log in, or once you go here, you'll get top 3 insights automatically. Then you can always click generate insights, and then new insights will be generated for you. So you can repeat the process and get the 10 most important highlights about your website. For example, you can see once here, I clicked it in a couple of seconds, that this landing page saw a decrease in bounce rate from 30% to this percent in the previous week. So these are actionable insights that you can take from Monster Insight directly and figure out that, hey, what did you do on this page that helped reduce the bounce rate to 30%, or decrease the bounce rate by 30% approximately, that you can replicate on other pages. Then you can also see page views fluctuated with a 10 20% decrease on this date and 50% increase compared to last week. So what is happening on those days? Why is the bounce rate, or I say the view rate, or the actual page view rate is increasing or decreasing, you can understand that as well. And the last one is the referral campaign showed improvement with 16% increase in conversion rate over the past week. So this is also very powerful. Let's try it one more time. This will again, let's see, okay, what kind of insights can we find with the help of AI, and then we'll move on to the site notes feature. So once again, the landing page, this I'm assuming it's the home page, has the highest average pages per session at 2.5. Then probably it's the home page. So we can try to understand. Now, if this was any other page, we would understand how it's getting the most amount of traffic. Then the blog read easy. I'm assuming this is an RSS feed blog, is sharing, or I say giving the most amount of referral traffic with a conversion rate of this, and consider optimizing the content for this referring source. So again, very powerful insight that, hey, coming from this specific maybe RSS feed, the traffic is has great engagement and high conversion rate. And the last one is the number of sessions dramatically increased from the last one by this 1%, with more traffic can come. So this is how Monster Insights AI Insights feature gives you actionable advice that you can start using and understanding on your website. Now, let's also talk about the site notes feature. It's very powerful. You might think it's a very simple feature, which it is, but it's very powerful as well. Now, what is site notes? You can think of them or site notes as annotations. Now, if you're a veteran Google Analytics user, you might remember that Google Analytics 3 and even Universal Analytics had this feature where you could annotate site notes. Basically, for example, let's say you're doing something on the website on a certain day, then you can make notes about it, and those notes can be shown up in the actual graphs. I'll show you when we go into the report section that we can see that data directly on the graphs. So any kind of fluctuation happening on a certain page, we can have actionable information about what happened on that page directly on that page. Now, seems like a very good feature to have, and that's why probably Google Analytics had this feature, and I personally have used it a lot. But for some reason, Google Analytics 4, at least till the date of this recording, does not have this feature. So since we have been forced to upgrade to Google Analytics 4, we still don't have this feature, which is, I believe, a huge disadvantage when using analytics. But thanks to Monster Insights, you have this feature. So you can see it right here, all the kind of sites note that have already been added to the site. So you can see here you have categories, you can have export, or you can export this, and you can also bulk action, categorize them, all that good stuff. But the main idea is that you can add site notes on a particular date and understand what is happening on the site. So let me show you a couple of site notes that have been added. So prior day AOV, or average order value, was the lowest in the past 30 days. This site note was added. So which was when was it added? Who added this? What's the category like? And you can see this was added on, I'm assuming if I'm reading correctly, 6th of April 2024, if the date format is what I think it is. Then once again, prior day AOV was the highest, prior day transactions were lowest, and these are all kinds of insights or site notes we can add. For example, if I click as add site note, then we can select date. So example, I'll select today's date, I'll select the category, and I'll say, hey, promotion, and let's say no media, and I'll say Monster Insights promotional video recorded. And that can be a great insight for people who are going here. And then I'll just click the add site note feature, and this will show up here. You can see it's a promotional category, and this note is showing up right here, and also my email is showing up. So whatever users adding this, you can see it here. I'll trash this for now. I don't want anybody else to discover this and see and think about, hey, what's happening on the site? So I've just deleted this. But this is the basic idea. Even though you might think this is a very simple feature, it's not complex, but think about the powerful, or I said the power this feature has. You can have all kinds of insights noted down here. Anytime you make a change on the site, you change the landing page around, any kind of positive changes, you will have actionable, I say, backtracking steps. You can go back to and understand what you were doing on your site to identify, or I say, make positive or negative changes on your website. So these are the two powerful features inside Monster Insights. One is the AI Insights, and one is the site notes. Let's talk about some reporting features, what reports are, and then we can finish up the video. So now that you understood all the details, or I say specific features inside Monster Insights, it's time to take a look at the final reporting section. And in the beginning of the video, I did show you a basic overview of how the reports look like. The main idea is to understand the reports now with a renewed perspective on all the details Monster Insights can pull for you and configure the right way when it comes to fetching data from Google Analytics. So let's take a look at my screen once again here. And on my screen, you'll see that I have the basic overview report. Now you can start seeing all the different tabs, and you'll start understanding where the data is coming from and what the data is coming from. So if you see here, we have the sessions report at the top. We have the page views, which gives you insights about where the page views are coming from, or I say how many page views are you getting and what kind of sessions you're getting. And you can report, or I'd say download the PDF report of this, export it directly from Monster Insights, and you can set a custom date range as well. I've set the date range to June, just to give you an understanding of how to see site notes here. So for June, I have a lot of site notes added to site. So if I click this site notes feature right here on the page, you can see all these site notes are now being shown up here. So with this, you can understand that, hey, there has been a huge spike on 25th of June, right? So 25th or 26th of June has the highest number of sessions. Why? Maybe because of some change happening here. So we can see this and instantly draw conclusions about what changes on our website are bringing in the positive results. So that's the basic overview report, and all of these reports are accessible to you right inside Monster Insights, inside your WordPress dashboard. So no need to log into your Google Analytics dashboard or account to start using this information. And once you are done with this, you can always close this. You also have some actionable insights here. So number of sessions, you can see it here. Page views, you can see average session duration and the bounce rate. This information is again visible inside Google Analytics as well, but having this right here inside WordPress makes it a lot better. Then you can obviously see all the different kinds of reports. You have average, new and versus returning users, device breakdown, referrals, websites or countries, and top posts as well. Now, this is just the basic overview. Now, depending on the kind of add-ons you install and configure on your website with Monster Insights, you might be able to use any of these other insights as well. For example, the traffic view. So let's look at traffic. Inside the traffic, we have overview, technology, landing page details, campaign, source, and social. Let's look at landing page details, and we'll look at some other reports as well in detail. So on the landing page, we can see these spikes or these sessions are the same, and we can start looking at what kind of pages are getting the most traffic. So we can see landing page, what are the sessions like, engage sessions like, pages per session, purchases, and conversion rate as well. So you can see here the home page is converting at the highest rate because this is a test website. But look at this. This single report is so valuable when it comes to understanding what kind of pages are bringing the most revenue on your site. And these kind of data is so hard to configure when you are starting out and you have no idea how to configure Google Analytics on a site. And Monster Insights makes it absolutely easy for you to not only configure this data, but see, or I'd say understand this data right here. Now, going into the traffic, I already showed you, you have 6 types of reports here: social, or where the traffic is coming from; technology, that means what the devices people are using; then you have the publisher report as well. So inside the publisher report, you might see some information. Now, this is just a test website, so a lot of information on the site might be just dummy. So sometimes you might see errors because this is again a test website, but a lot of content has been published here. So you can see here what is the top landing pages, visits, duration, bounce rate. So if you're a publisher who monetizes through ads or some other sponsored content, this will be very, very valuable to you. Now, Search Console, I don't think so has been configured well on the site. So if I click on this, you might see errors. But again, once again, if you configure this well on your site, you can start seeing data from Search Console on your website as well. As I said, it's not configured correctly. That's why you see this error. Now, inside the e-commerce report as well, I don't think e-commerce functionality is active on the site, but the add-on for Monster Insights is active. So you might not see any revenue because there's nothing being sold on the site. So even though the page views are fine, but the conversion rate, transactions, everything is zero because technically this is not an e-commerce website. But the reports, still you can see what kind of reports will be shown here. So what product sales, that means what products are selling the most on your site; top conversion sources, total add to carts, remove from carts, new percentage customers, and abandoned customers or abandoned checkouts. And then you can use other plugins like Monster Insights to capture, or not Monster Insights, Opt-in Monster to capture more of these leads. People then capture the email information, or you can use a tool like Funnel Kit to abandon or say recover some abandoned carts. And these are again fantastic tools you can use to increase revenue on your e-commerce store. I'll link some of them in the description of this video so you can go check them out. And this is just the e-commerce report. Then you also have dimensions report. I don't think it's configured well, but let's check it out. So as if you remember, the dimensions add-on was for, if I go into the add-on section once again, just to give you an idea, it is all about the tracking tags, categories, users, authors, what kind of I'd say which kind of categories, authors, or which sections of your site are getting the most amount of traffic. So if when this page loads, I'll just show the report or the add-on to you once again. So now that the report or the add-ons report or add-on section is open, once again, just reminding myself and you as well, the dimensions report is all about tracking authors, categories, tags, searches, users, and more. So if you want granular reports on what authors are bringing the most traffic, what categories of content on your site is getting the most traffic, and maybe the conversions as well, tags, searches, users, everything else. So this gives you detailed analysis about this, but since the add-on is disabled, that was the reason why the report was giving an error. So going back to the reports, let's continue and see what kind of different reports we have access to. And let me just give you complete insights about the all the different data you can get with Monster Insights. So as I was saying, apart from the dimensions report, we have the forms report, real-time report, site speed, media, and exceptions. Now, in all these cases, if you enable certain add-ons, you might see this menu increase or decrease depending on which add-ons are active. So I don't think the forms add-on is active, but the forms add-on reports will give you, again, detailed idea about what forms are converting the best on your sites. Again, the add-on is not active, so I'll dismiss this. I'll go to the real-time section, and this will give you data about what is happening on your website right now. What users are active, what pages are they going to. So you can see one active user on the site, page used per minute, and what page are they checking out. So this gives you real-time information about what is happening on your site. Then once again, we have site speed, media, and exceptions, and I've covered them in the add-on section already. But in the site speed section, we see details about our site speed. That means how our website is performing in terms of speed and load times. So let's let the report load, and we'll see what kind of reports we have for speed on a site. All right. So now we can see here what kind of reports we have when it comes to, or what kind of details we have when it comes to site speed. So the overall site speed is 68 for desktop. I think mobile, it might be less. Okay, it will refresh the report. So let's wait for it to finish, and then I'll continue the rest of the analysis to understand what kind of data we have. All right. So on the mobile phone devices, you can see the response time is 88, or I say 80 milliseconds basically, or 88 milliseconds, which is all right, but it's a red flag. That means it needs to be improved. Overall score is 44. Then we have blocking time, cumulative leadership. These are all performance terms. So CLS and server response time, and FCP and LCP, these are all technical terms when it comes to how Google understands or how Google rates website performance. It's not just about load time. All these metrics are important. So we can see here which are in the orange, which are in the green, and which are in the red. So we need to improve the ones that are in the red, and the green ones are all right. And we can see all the details here as well. So if I go here, you can see how to improve. Everything will be given here. So that also is included with Monster Insights. Then we have media reports. What kind of media has been consumed the most? And let me see if the report is active, depending on the add-on. All right, so the report is not active, but let's try the exceptions as well. So that is also not active. So depending on what kind of, I say, what kind of add-ons are enabled on the site, the reports will be visible. But I've already covered what these do. So the media report is all about consuming or understanding what kind of media is being consumed on the site. So if you have YouTube videos embedded, or Vimeo videos embedded, or even hosted videos embedded, how much percentage of those videos are being watched by your users, what video is being consumed the most, all those reports will be in the media section. An exception use case will be if anything out of the ordinary happens, then Monster Insights can report it and give you directly email notifications as well. So all those reports will be present here. So the basic idea here is that Monster Insights can give you a lot of insights about what's happening on your website. And once you configure the right add-ons for your website, the way or whatever data you want, once you configure it well, Monster Insights makes it absolutely easy to actually configure the technical details on your site. You don't have to worry about how do I enter the code, how do I configure it, how do I transfer data to Google Analytics. Monster Insights just makes it one-click solution for add-ons, for exceptions, for features. Everything is very simple to set up. And once you do it, then the data starts collecting on your site. It gets transferred to Google Analytics as well. So regardless of if you like the Monster Insight interface or you like Google Analytics, you can use both in conjunction as well to understand your website's performance better. And all of these, as I said, if you're running an e-commerce website, an affiliate blog, imagine the data you'll get and the number of actionable insights you can derive using Monster Insights. It's a fantastic plugin. So this is the end of the video. We've covered everything about Monster Insights, how to install it, what kind of reports do we get, add-ons, features, exceptions, use cases, different kind of features we have, and how to utilize all these features to make intelligent decisions on your website. If you still have any questions about how to use Monster Insights, the question section is open. The Monster Insights link is in the description of this video and also in the pinned comment. You should go check out the plugin. There's a free version of the plugin as well. Once again, you're watching WP Beginner, and I'm Yuvraj. I'll see you in the next video very, very soon. Take care.